What's up, everyone? This is Jared from Scuttlebutt News, and we have some breaking news from the champion Ilia Topuria. We're going to get right into it. And also, sadly, I do not have a co-host because he's been fired for his hateful comments towards John Jones. Yeah, I'm going to be doing this solo from now on. So, anyways, let's get right into it.
Hola, soy Ilia Topuria. Y me gustaría anunciar que todos los fans de Islam Makhachev son gays. Gracias.
Now, I'm no expert in my Spanish, but I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Ilia Topuria in Spanish just called Islam Makhachev fans gay. So that's it for today's news. See you guys on the next one. Once again, I have to address these Islam Makhachev fans who are flooding my comments on multiple videos, calling me all kinds of names, saying all kinds of things, saying I'm a casual. Let's just get into it. Make sure you guys like and sub. I'm kind of sick of doing these videos. I'm sick of talking about Islam Makhachev now. But what do you guys want me to do? Every time I check my YouTube, it's like a new comment. It's like brother 1295 who's like, brother, stop coping, Makhachev is the GOAT or some shit. It's just like they're everywhere, brother. So we're gonna include 3 different videos. So the first one, Islam Makhachev is officially ducked Ilia Topuria. So this is when UFC 317 and 319's main events were announced. Now I want to clarify, guys, Islam Makhachev is officially ducked Ilia Topuria. Now, well, I would be lying if I said it wasn't a bit of clickbait, all right? Look, I'm trying to make a living off this just like a lot of other MMA YouTubers. But seriously, though, I'd be lying if I said it didn't clickbait a little bit. But at the same time, I do kind of think Islam has ducked Ilia. But it's a decent, it's a basic title, you know? It's nothing crazy. But the comments. Oh, boy, the comments on this one. And, you know, hopefully nobody takes offense to being in this video. You know, I got good comments as well. Some bad comments, some good comments. But, yeah, hopefully nobody takes offense to being included in this video. This is all just entertainment at the end of the day. So, we'll start with the first comment, which is actually the top comment. So, look, guys, the top comment is a hate comment, all right? So, you know, it kind of hurts, you know. Sure, buddy, he says. We've been through this before. When Islam defeats Topuria, you'll come back and say Islam is fighting small guys. So you can tell like instantly the way they spell. No offense, but you can tell the kind of fan this is. Now, I've said multiple times in multiple videos. Now, obviously, this guy does not watch my videos. He is just some random guy who has found this video and decided to instantly comment. He probably didn't even watch this exact video he's commenting under. But I've said on multiple occasions, Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev, if that fight were to happen, and if Islam were to, let's say, destroy Ilia in the first round or in the first minute, I would not discredit Islam Makhachev and say, oh, he just beat another small guy. I would personally not do that. Now, there might be a subset of fans that would. I personally think anyone who says that is just trolling. I don't think if you're a fan of MMA and the UFC that you actually think Islam is only beating small guys. There's an argument to be made that a lot of his opponents are featherweights, but it's not a serious argument in my opinion. I think it's a way of people just making fun of Makhachev and Makhachev fans a little bit and sort of poking fun because clearly they're pretty easily triggered, right? But nonetheless, I would personally not say that. So, yeah, I don't agree with this, obviously. Second comment, right? Islam been saying to move up to 170 even before Leon became the champ. And when Ilia wasn't even in picture for a title shot at 145 and was a nobody. You expect Islam to give up his dream because fans suddenly are hyping Ilia up? I'm glad Islam being honest in his pursuit at 170 championship. Islam been saying to move up to 170 even before Leon became the champ and when Ilia... Okay, so he's right. Yes, Islam has been saying he wants to move up to 170 for a while. He's not wrong in that sense. At the same time, though, did he have to move up right now? Did he have to move up immediately when Ilia decides to move up? Did he have to move up right now? Could he have not fought one more time? But and I've said this again on multiple occasions, knew Islam Makhachev wanted to move up, because if you saw his last weight cut against Moicano, I think that's the worst he's ever looked on the scales, and I think he's I think of any champion in the UFC, he looks the worst on the scales. So I've known he's wanted to move up, but that's why me and other fans have been advocating for Ilya versus Islam, because first of all, we want to see good fucking fights and super fights. But second of all, we've known that Islam has been practically begging to move up. His body has been begging him to move up. We've known this. So that's why we wanted this fight next. Islam Makhachev fans were genuinely trying to make arguments just a couple of months ago. Hey, Islam Justin Gaethje makes a lot of sense. I did a video on this a couple of months ago, but Islam Makhachev fans were coming in my comments saying, Gaethje deserves it. Justin Gaethje does deserve a title shot. You had Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, legitimately say on a podcast that he would be perfectly fine with Paddy Pimblett getting the next title shot. So these guys think Paddy Pimblett could get a title shot, think Justin Gaethje could get a title shot. You had Khabib saying that we'd love if Arman got it, right? Which obviously Arman is deserving, of course. But you and I both know watching this, Arman is really fucking up right now for a lot of different reasons. Because apparently he's turning down Gamrot, and I think he turned down Paddy in October. That's what I read. I don't know if it's true, but he did claim that he wants to fight International Fight Week against the big name. But nonetheless, you and I both know Arman's not getting the next shot. So does Khabib. So I don't even know why he's mentioning Arman's name. There's only one name, and that's Ilia Topuria. And that was the perfect time for that fight to happen. Because, and again, I've explained this already, Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev, this was the best time for this fight, because now when Islam moves up, even if, what's going to happen is this. If Islam moves up and loses to JDM, then moves back down to fight Ilya, and if Ilya beats Islam in that scenario, what are the fans going to say? Oh, but Ilya beat a weight-drained Islam Makhachev. Well, Ilya didn't fight pre-JDM Makhachev. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. That's just the reality of the situation. Even if Islam moves up, beats JDM and moves back down and fights Topuria, same exact thing is going to be said. But Ilya's fighting a weight-drained Makhachev. It's just, now was the best time to make the fight. But the fans the Islam Makhachev fans don't seemingly see what we see. You expect Islam to give up his dream because fans suddenly are hyping up Ilya, or hyping Ilya up. You're not even, who are you? You expect Islam to give up his dream? I don't give a fuck about Islam's dream. I give a fuck about seeing good fights, brother. I'm sorry. What, do you expect Islam to give up his dream because fans are hyping up Ilya? Fans are not hyping up Ilya. You're making it seem like it's Paddy Pimblett. We're talking about a guy who just KO'd the two best fighters of all time. Not ever, but the two best featherweights of all time, I should have said. That being Volkanovski and Holloway. Now he's moved up. Now he's fighting at lightweight. There's a wide open spot for him. Islam has no clear contenders except Arman. And again, how many times do I got to say this? Arman ain't getting the next shot, boy. So, yeah, you expect Islam to move to give up his dream? Yeah, I do. I don't care about Islam Makhachev's dreams. I care about good fights. I care about the entertainment of the sport. I care about seeing good fights. I'm glad that Islam is being honest in his pursuit to 170 championship. Cool. Islam doesn't know you, little bro. Ilya knocks out Charles inside 2 rounds. Base no bromo. Shout no bromo. Please subscribe to no bromo. Okay. I liked and hearted this because I thought it was kind of funny, but I think this guy's a sub of mine, so I ain't gonna shit on him. But I absolutely sure that you are Connor. Fucking hell, man! I can't read this. I absolutely sure that you are a Connor fan that was shouting, "Khabib is scared of getting out of the bus." I thought that was kind of funny. Spanish and Ilya fan here, so we got an actual. We're gonna get a nuanced take here. Spanish and Ilya fan here. I don't think it's ducking these guys don't fear anyone. Oh, I don't think it's ducking, these guys don't fear anyone. When they both win their respective fights and later meet on the octagon, it's going to be super massive, so it's a good move by Islam. Now, shout out to this guy. He's a Spanish Ilya fan. He's having a bit of nuance here. He's not one of these Makhachev fans that are insulting me and saying I'm whatever the case may be. But. I don't think it's ducking these guys. I don't think it's ducking, these guys don't fear anyone. I agree to an extent. Again, I've said this. I wouldn't say Islam Makhachev is scared of Ilia Topuria, but I think he knows what comes with an Ilia Topuria fight, and I think he would rather take his chances against JDM. I think he knows what comes with it outside of the octagon, that being Ilya's mind games, Ilya's trash talk. Ilya's doing a bunch of interviews right now, just talking trash, saying, I'm sorry Charles Oliveira for what I'm about to do to you. And Ilya is like probably the biggest trash talker in the UFC other than Dricus du Plessis. He literally tries to get in his opponent's heads. And Makhachev has never faced somebody like that who has tried to get in his head, ever. Correct me if I'm wrong, unless I'm missing somebody. Never really. He had like a little shoving match with Poirier because they had a disagreement, a little misunderstanding about the word motherfucker, I think. And Moicano didn't really, try to talk trash. And like no one really tries to trash talk Islam, really. If anything, he trash talks, and he's the one that's humble. We so humble, but they trash talk, and whatever the case may be, right? But Islam Makhachev, I don't think he's super amped about what comes with an Ilia Topuria fight. And the fact that, and again, I did a video on this, the fact that it's not just Islam that you could say is ducking, it's his entire team. Why is his head coach Javier Mendez saying, yeah, we'd like to fight Paddy? His manager Ali Abdullah Sleazebag, whatever that almost called him a slur, whatever that guy's name is, saying, oh, we need Islam Gaethje, and he's trying to push for Islam versus Justin Gaethje. And then you have fucking Paddy Pimblett, then you have Javier Mendez calling for Paddy Pimblett. Then you have Khabib calling for the Arman fight, which again is a good fight, but it's not going to happen because UFC are pissed at Arman. So it's like, to me, it almost seems clear that Makhachev probably did have plans to stay at 155. It seems like. Now, I know they were waiting for the result of JDM versus whatever the guy's name. Oh, Bilal Muhammad, right? They're waiting for the result of that fight. I know that. I'm not an idiot. I'm not a casual. I see the fucking tweets and shit, right? But if that was the case, why just 2 weeks prior to that was Islam's manager, the guy that he probably speaks to every day, why was his manager fucking tweeting, oh, we're going to do Gaethje versus this guy, and he's trying to push for this fight? Why is Dana teasing that they're going to do Gaethje versus Islam next? Then why is Khabib saying, oh, we're looking at Arman, we'd like for Islam to fight Arman. Arman would be a good test, would be a good fight. Then why is Javier Mendez saying that Paddy could be next? Why are just before all of this mess, before Makhachev moved up, these guys were like still talking about 155. All of a sudden, Ilya wants to move up. All of a sudden, oh, now I have to move to 170 now. Again, I've spoken about this, which is why I don't even love doing this video, because I feel like I'm milking the topic. But again, Makhachev not only said in his last fight, which he took 0 damage in, whoever could make 155 step to the cage and stay in front of me. That's exactly what he said, his own words. What happened that just immediately, oh, now I have to move up to 170 right now? What happened? You, in your last fight, you said whoever can make 155 step to the cage and stay in front of me. 1 month later, Ilia Topuria moves up. All of a sudden, now you really have to move to 170? You have to move that bad to 170? Really? All of a sudden, come on, bro. Your manager's entertaining the idea of you and Gaethje. Brother, he could have fought Ilia Topuria at 317, and he could have fought JDM in November or December. But instead, you can only fight one or the other? That's like such... It's retarded. It's really retarded. I'm sorry. It's retarded that he took no damage in January. We haven't seen him since. He was all fine with staying at 155. Now Topuria is really on his fucking neck. Now all of a sudden he has to fight now. He has to fight at 170 right fucking now or he's going to explode and die. I hate it, man. I hate it. And Ilya ducked Movsar again. No one is scared of Movsar Evloev. He's a pedophile and he has no finishing ability. So please get out of my comments trying to hype up Movsar Evloev. Please, please, please. Do not try to hype up Movsar Evloev. At least if you said he's trying to duck Diego, I can see it. But even then, Diego has no head movement. I'm kidding. I like Diego. But I don't like Movsar, though. I like Diego, though. I do like Diego. Dude, at least if you said he's ducking like the Volk rematch, I could see he's ducking Movsar. Nobody cares about Movsar Evloev. Shut up, bro. Oh my, these guys in my, he ducked Movsar Evloev. Shut up. You guys really wanted to see that fight, man? You guys really wanted to see, please be honest. I could see why people would want to see fights like Ankalaev versus Pereira. Or, like, it's not as if Dagestanis or Dagestani-esque fighters can't have exciting fights with good builds and good hype. I was hyped for Ankalaev Pereira. You know, I like Ikram Liskarov. He has great KOs. I'm hyped for every Islam Makhachev fight ever. I like Islam Makhachev, if I didn't say that at the beginning. I'm a fan of his. But Movsar Evloev is the guy you guys all want to hype up? Really? Come on, bro. Imagine saying you ducked a smaller guy to fight a champion in the upper weight class. These guys say the same things. I already explained that. Islam Makhachev clearly thinks he matches up better against JDM. That's what I think personally. He thinks he matches up better against JDM. JDM has a way less proven grappling track record than Ilya. In fact, I don't think JDM's ever even been put in a sub. Like, I don't think there's ever even been a sub attempt against JDM. I could be a casual, I could be wrong, but I don't think Gilbert Burns had any close sub attempts. You know, Hafez took him down, but I don't think he had any close sub attempts. He might have had one. But we've seen Ilya Topuria sub people. I've never seen JDM sub anybody. I've seen Ilya sub grapplers. I've seen him sub Bryce Mitchell. He has more subs than KOs, I think. You know? It's just whatever. So Ilya has the right to move up and Islam doesn't. Islam wanted to move up ages ago, even before. I didn't say Islam doesn't have a right to move. I've never ever said this take. Ever. I've never said this take. I've never had this take. I said Islam could move up, but why can't he fight Ilya then move up? That's all I've said. I never said, Islam shouldn't be able to move up. I'm just keeping the same energy. Just like if people say Ilya has to earn a title shot, then Islam has to earn a title shot. What, Islam gets a welterweight title shot off subbing Moicano in his last fight? Wow. What a contender. But guess who KO'd Max Holloway in their last fight, though? A guy who's never been even dropped, barely. Islam wanted to move up ages ago, even before Ilya was a champion again. We've already spoken about this point. How is he ducking to a better and bigger fighter? Y'all salty as fuck. Bigger, yes. That's a good point. JDM is bigger than Ilya Topuria objectively. Is he better? That's not proven. That's just not proven. It's like, did you just... I just don't get these guys. Did you just not want to see the fight? Are you just gay? Just be honest, bro. Are you just a... I almost said a slur. Are you just gay? Are you honestly just a homosexual? I don't understand. I feel like I'm going, like, I just don't get it. How are there actual people that are pushing back against this fight? How are there not people universally like, yeah, man, I'm an Islam Makhachev fan and I wanted to see him against Ilya too? How are you that fucking gay for a fighter just because either you share the same religion or just because you like his style, whatever the case may be? I'm assuming by the name of this guy, he shares the same religion as Islam, right? Just because you share the same religion as this guy, you're going to be on his cock all day. So is Ilya has the right to move up and Islam doesn't? I sound like Horse Beef MMA there. Shout out to Horse Beef. No, that's not the point. Again, Islam can move up, but Could he have not just fought Ilya and got this out of the way and got this super fight out of the way? Now we have to wait all the way until the end of the year to see Islam Makhachev face JDM, and it's going to be a great fight, don't get me wrong, but we could have had both. We could have had him face Ilya and JDM. Sorry. Islam wanted to move up ages ago. Why didn't he move up ages ago then? Why didn't he? Why didn't he move up way before Ilya was a champ then? Why did he move up as soon as Ilya decided to move up too? Huh? How is he ducking to a better and bigger fighter? We'll never know. We'll never know, I guess. We'll never know. We'll never know if he's better than JDM or how he'd match up against Islam, because we'll never get the fight. And we'll never get the fight because of retarded fans like this who encourage Islam moving up and just skipping a good opponent. How? How do you not want the good fight? I just don't get it. JDM is much harder than Topuria. That's not proven yet. We don't know that yet. You can't just say that. Fighting another short guy, nah. Again, the whole short guy thing. He's the same height as Volkanovski. Volkanovski gave him his hardest test. The first Volkanovski fight was the hardest fight of his career. But no, he's just a short guy, right? With that logic, Ilya ducked a rematch with Volk. Yeah, right? What a logic. I know. With that logic, Ilya ducked a rematch. It's not even the same, you fucking retard. Ilya KO'd Volkanovski. He's faced him before. Islam has never faced Ilya before. It's a first time ever matchup, you fucking tard. Wait. So Topuria definitely had a shot at winning, and Islam knew that, but the JDM means more. If he did lose to Ilya, he would lose 2 fights at once. It's a super risk with very little reward. That's not ducking, that's good business. I don't even remember liking this, but it's not ducking, it's good business. I don't give a fuck about his business. What is wrong with these? I don't care about good business. I want to see good fights. You don't think good business would be just doing Ilya versus Islam? You don't think good business would be getting Ilya versus Islam in a month? Are you serious? The JDM fight does not mean more. More fans would be hyped for... Come on, bro. I'm hyped for the JDM fight too, but we could have had both. That's just the... I don't know, bro. There's fans that legitimately are like, this is insane. This guy... Look, this guy comments, this guy's a hater just searching for views. Islam don't duck no one, and your poor assessment knows it. My poor assessment knows that. Islam don't duck no one, and your poor assessment knows that. This guy is just a hater searching for views. Islam doesn't duck anyone. He ducked Ilya Topuria, so that's one person. I'm glad someone called Islam out on his BS. Now Topuria will be a double champ in less time. Shout out to this guy. Can you not understand that the whole story with Islam is Dana White's strategy to divert attention from the Princess John Jones? All right. I have a feeling Ilya will be exposed against Charles even if he wins, and then people will say, Ilya is no challenge for Islam. Charles Oliveira is not going to win that fight in any universe on this planet. I'm sorry, you guys have to be realistic. Congrats to Ilya for becoming double champ. Bro, he would have fought Ilya if Bilal won, no problem. Doesn't sound like ducking to me. So he would have fought Ilya if Bilal won, no problem. So this is kind of the tricky thing here. There's no proof of this. Now, could he have fought Ilya if Bilal would have won? Yes, of course. But there's some opposing stories here. Now, Ali Abdelaziz has claimed that everything was signed. Had Bilal had won, it was pretty much a done deal. We would have got Ilya Islam at 317. Topuria has come out in an interview or some sort of press conference. It was this weird like Spanish press conference. You know how Ilya is. He's like a supervillain, right? And he's come out and said, Ali is just a liar. He's just straight up lying. Nothing was really set in stone yet. I don't know. I really don't know. I would like to believe that he would have fought him had Bilal had won. I would like to believe that. I would like to have believed that, but yeah, he wouldn't have been enthused to fight him, and I just don't understand why there has to be like a condition. Well, I'll only fight him if Bilal wins. Why don't you just fight him anyways and then fight? Like, I have to burp. Doesn't sound like ducking to me. He has the record title defenses in his division, and Topuria moves up to lightweight and is unproven. He's unproven. Dude, like, why did just, I'm so confused why people didn't want, why there's actual people like this. No offense to this guy. I think I've seen this guy comment before on my channel. Maybe he's, I don't even know if he subbed to me. I don't know. But why is it that these people, some of these people legitimately, it seems like just they didn't want the fight. Are you telling me? I don't care how big of an Islam Makhachev fan you are. Why would you have not just wanted to see him fight Ilya? Why does there have to be all these stipulations? Oh, but Ilya has to fight Charles first. Then if he would have beat Charles, then what? But Ilya has to beat Paddy Pimblett first. Then if he, you know what I mean? It's like he's right in saying after he beats Ilya, we'll say featherweight title reign. Again, no real fan would say that except like trolls on Twitter. He's really not ducking. The Jones situation is ducking, not this. Plus, JDM is a harder matchup than Ilya, to be honest. That's unproven. That's unproven. That's unproven. That's just unproven, bro. JDM is a harder matchup. That's hypothetical. We don't know. Ilya could be an elite grappler, bro, for all we know. Dude, save your breath. The reason and logic don't mix with that crowd. Almost... Let me not resort to insults, all right? I almost said something about this guy's JDM is a harder matchup than Ilya. Let's harp on that point. That's unproven. We don't know that because we'll never get the fight. We'll never get the fight. Sorry, JDM is a harder matchup than Ilya, to be honest. We don't know that. That's unproven. What if Ilya was a god tier level grappler? Because I still think Ilya is a slightly better boxer than JDM as well. He might have, you can't just say, well, JDM is a harder matchup, so it's just stupid. It's like the lot. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. It's just the logic here is just non-existent. Makhachev fans are hypocrites. Shout out to my boy Kim. So then this comment says, I've been here for a while. I feel like, you know what? This is going to be a long one. Get some popcorn if you haven't already. Ilya said Islam ran away. Come on, Ilya. You are the one who ran away from your featherweight division and not clean up. Ilya knows Gene Silva will give him big trouble. Gene Silva doesn't even have a top 5 win yet, bro. I like Gene Silva. I love Gene Silva. He doesn't even have a top 5 win at featherweight yet for you to be saying that. That's like me saying Makhachev ran from like Paddy Pimblett. Like I would have liked to seen him fight Paddy, but you can't consider that running yet. Are you saying that Silva is harder than Makhachev? Ilya wants the pound for pound. Yeah, that's another good point. I mean, he ran from Gene Silva to fight Islam Makhachev. Ilya only has one title defense, paper champion. Ilya only has one title defense. And if he had 3, then you would say, well, Makhachev has one more, so he's not on Makhachev's level. These people just move the goalpost. He has one title defense. He could have 30, and they would say the same thing. Bro, Silva wasn't even in the top 15. Plus, did he duck Movsar in fights right now against Charles? I mean, that's a pretty good point. I've seen people saying he's ducked Movsar Evloev. You saw that comment earlier in this video. He's ducking Evloev, but he's fighting Charles, or he wants to fight Makhachev. Or did he duck Lopez, who won against Volk? Lopez didn't beat Volk. I think he's being sarcastic. Ilya would KO Silva. Ilya has power, technique, combo, speed, wrestling. Yeah, look, I would have liked to seen Ilya against Gene Silva, don't get me wrong, but Gene Silva doesn't have a top 5 name at all. His best win is Bryce Mitchell. So Gene Silva was not getting near a title shot, bro. And also, like, can we say this as well? If we're to believe Ilya Topuria didn't move up just for fun. Ilya moved up because he said, this is his claim, not mine. This is his claim. This is Dana White's claim. This is Ilya's coach's claim. Ilya physically cannot make featherweight anymore. We didn't hear Makhachev say that. Makhachev is just moving up just because he wants to. We don't know if he can make 155 anymore. He's the one that's saying he might come back down and face Charles or face Ilya if he beats Charles. He's the one that said he wanted to keep his lightweight belt and win the welterweight belt. So he clearly can still make lightweight if we're to believe Islam Makhachev and his tweets. Ilya is the one that's claiming he can't even make lightweight no more, or featherweight no more, excuse me. Vacated to fight real monsters and not small guys. It's a 50-50 fight. Betting odds are even for the first time for Islam against Jack. With Ilya, he's the best boxer, but still a midget. He's a midget, but he's the same height as Volk. Volk gave Islam his hardest test. Again, So we're going to keep doing this, calling Ilya a midget. He's the same height as Volkanovski. He was 4-1 underdog against him. I think it's a better legacy for him to get a second belt. You know what's a better legacy than that? Beating Ilya and getting a second belt. Isn't that a better legacy? Don't you think? Don't you agree with me, guys? Fucking retard. I'm sorry. Shout out to this guy, I guess. Before he knew who Ilya was, he said he was going to go to welterweight. What the fuck are you on? I'm on your mom's asshole, you fucking... Oh, I almost called him a... Bro. Before he knew who Ilya was, he said he was going to welterweight. So why didn't he move up before he knew who Ilya was? Why did he move up right now? Okay, anyways. Spot on. It doesn't make sense at all. Makhachev could have defended the belt against Topuria and fought in late October in Australia, but I guess he developed beacon wings in his late career. Yeah, shout out to this guy for actually having a nuanced take and actually understanding. Why couldn't he have just fought Ilya and moved up? Are you telling me he couldn't have made weight again? He's the one. See, again, how many times do I have to say this? He's the one that says if Ilya wins, he'll fight him. He has said this in tweets. He was the one that said he wanted to keep his lightweight belt because he plans on coming back down and fighting the winner of Charles versus Islam or Ilya. I keep saying Islam, Ilya. These dumbass names. Why can't they just name their kids John Makhachev or like Mark Topuria? Why do they have to have such retarded names? Anyways, my point is Islam is moving up for fun. He's not moving up because he can't make the weight, according to himself, according to his own tweets, according to context clues. So, yeah, he could have easily had fought at 317 and then fought in October. We don't know when the Australia card is, but it might be in October. It might be in September. We don't know. But he come on, bro. So he didn't want to fight Ilya, who's smaller, to fight the champions of 170. That is ducking to you. Just say you're gay, bro. If you don't want good fights, just say that, bro. Just say you're gay. Just say you're gay, honestly. And JDM has pillow hands and shit wrestling, so yeah. Why did I like this? JDM does not have pillow hands. Okay, I liked it because he called Islam a duck. He was agreeing with me. But still, JDM doesn't have pillow hands. And JDM has pillow hands and shit wrestling, so yeah, you're Isbum picking easy fights. He's a duck. That pillow hand's got more KOs than your guy by double, not mentioning the big weight difference between them. /hate and right judgment can't function together. Can't function together. Look, obviously JDM does not have pillow hands. He doesn't have shit wrestling, but again, his wrestling is not as proven as Ilya's wrestling. That's just the truth. Evloev and Lopez did not exist until Topuria moved up. Evloev and Lopez did not exist until Topuria moved up. What does that mean? Yeah, but Topuria moved up because he couldn't make the weight. I've already explained this. But even if you want to use this as a talking point, Evloev and Lopez did not exist until Topuria moved up. Yeah, he's ducking Movsar Evloev, guys, to fight Islam Makhachev and Charles Oliveira. He's ducking Movsar. Why are you... Just say you're gay, bro. Honestly, I'm just going to start saying that now. Because now you guys are pissing me off. How does it taste, Unk? You know what I said? Guess what I said? It tastes like victory. It tastes like... Ooh, 6 likes. Damn, okay. I ratioed this guy. All right. It tastes like victory. He's kind of gay. I'm not going to lie. Why would Islam take a fight against Topuria, who has no history at lightweight, over champ at 170? If you believe Islam is scared, you're a certified clown. Why would Islam take a fight against Topuria, who has no history at lightweight, over a champ at 170? Just say you're gay and don't want good fights. You're a certified clown. Your mom's a certified whore. So, yeah. Just say you don't want good fights. Just say you don't want the UFC to be good. Honestly, admit that you're gay and that you don't want UFC to have any good fights. Just say that. I agree, he's not scared. He's absolutely terrified. Not to mention, Islam took 0 damage in his last fight. I've said this. Why would he take a fight against Topuria, who has no history at lightweight? Because it's called anyone who can make 155 step to the cage and stay in front of me. That's what it's called. That's what he said himself, dumbass. Fucking retard. The funny thing is, Ilya is going to be a paper champion beating Charles, who doesn't even deserve a title shot. That's not his fault, though. It's not his fault that the champion ducked him. It's not his fault that he's going to be a quote-unquote paper champion. Islam would obliterate him inside the ring. We'll never know because the fight will never happen. So you stop using these hypotheticals of, oh, Islam would obliterate him. We'll never know. Super casual. Ask any Ilya Glazer if Ilya can beat JDM. He would lose to JDM, so by default, Islam is taking the tougher opponent. You're retarded. Styles make fights. You're just retarded, honestly. And hey, retard, I think JDM beats Islam as well. I'm sorry, I'm getting really angry. And I'm sweating because it's like 90 degrees where I'm at. Islam scared Makhachev. Islam scared. Base comment. Duck. Yeah, Duck, you need to go into rehab. This guy told me to go into rehab. Where, so I could see your mom and your grandmother? Anything to get attention, this guy says. Fans of McGregor. I don't even care for McGregor. I just don't care for McGregor. What are you talking about? Your thumbnail is sucks, so why Ilya ducking Mofsar? Learn the English language first before you come in my comments. What a homosexual take. Your mom is a slut and your dad is a fucking... I'm sorry, I'm about to say a slur. He ducked your mom. At least I have a mom. JDM should make Islam wait. Who was Islam even be at welterweight? Make him fight Sean Brady for... Yeah, let's keep the same energy, right? Let's keep the same energy. If Ilya has to earn it, so does Islam. Kangaroo Jack will sleep Makhachev and Charlito. I am sorry in advance. He stole Ilya's quote. Based. Islam Makhachev from the mountains of Duckistan. Name, place, and time, brother, except if you're a nightmare matchup. Yeah. He said, anyone who could make 155 step to the cage and stay in front of me. Someone makes 155, he starts crying. Hater is always a hater, and then fans of McGregor. This guy commented twice. We'll just keep going. I don't care. Jack Della Maddalena will destroy Islam Makhachev is what I titled it. Again, I'll be honest. It's a little bit of clickbait, of course. I'm going to, I do think JDM beats Makhachev, but would you guys just rather me title it, I think JDM 49-47's Islam Makhachev to a close decision. No, of course I'm going to title it JDM will destroy Islam. Even though I think JDM has a good chance of finishing Islam. These are not as bad. I mean, there's a lot of pretty positive comments here, to be honest with you, compared to the first one. I mean, I haven't seen many JDM fights, but I always fuck with seeing the speculation vids and seeing how the fight pans out when it happens. I'm not sure why so many people get butthurt about vids like this. Some of y'all know Islam personally. Base comment, I pinned it because it's one of my favorite comments. Yeah, these guys pretend like they know Islam Makhachev personally. I don't know Ilia Topuria personally. I don't know Marab or JDM or some of my favorite fighters. I don't know these guys personally. And if these guys did dumb shit, I would also do videos on it as well. So, sorry. But I'm going to call it out. I'm sorry. I'm just going to call it out how it is. But people don't like that. Islam Makhachev fans don't like that, obviously. They start raging. And obviously not all Islam Makhachev fans. There's good Islam Makhachev fans, but fuck, I'm one of them. I'm an Islam Makhachev fan. I haven't seen many... Yeah, good comment, man. At the end of the day, like, if I'm wrong, if my prediction is wrong, then it's wrong. I don't care. I've had predictions wrong. I've said that, I've said that Ankalaev was going to lose to Pereira. That was wrong. But then I've also said Sean Brady was going to beat fucking Leon Edwards. I've said JDM was going to beat Bilal. I said Gaethje was going to beat Fiziev in a rematch. I said I've predicted fights right as well. And wrong. So Islam running from the Topuria to get smoked by JDM. The reason he doesn't want to vacate, it's a contingency plan if he loses. Well, he did vacate. So, yeah. You're so right. After JDM KOs Islam, when Ilya KOs him, everyone will say, oh, well, he's not in his prime anymore. So that was a point I made in this video. And I mentioned it earlier. Basically, yeah, if he were to lose to JDM and then move back down and then lose to Ilya, people would just say, well, that's not the same Islam we saw who fought Poirier and Volk. So he's losing to Ilya either way it goes. Rather he lose to JDM first or after. The fans are going to say it wasn't the same Islam. Again, I thought that was a pretty good take by me. BX hitting the big 1K. Shout out to Nobromo again. Please subscribe to him. He's one of the best out there. Bilal's attitude towards Islam reminds me of the way some dudes talk about a 1-month relationship they had with a bop. Okay. Some pretty positive comments here. 1,000 sub. Again, we just hit 1,000 subs, by the way. Make sure you guys sub. Some pretty good comments here. So it's not as bad as the first. The literal only advantage JDM has is his boxing. That's retarded. He's bigger than Islam, or as big as Islam. And his boxing is not only an advantage... Excuse me. It's not only an advantage. He's the best boxer other than Ilya in the UFC. So you're also delusional thinking that JDM stands a chance against Islam. I guess we'll see. You better not delete this when JDM loses. I've never deleted a video after I've had a bad prediction, ever. I've kept all my videos up. Aren't you the same guy that made a video about Ain't Going to Sleep by Pereira? Yes, and I've also was the same guy that said JDM would beat Bilal. So, are you going to mention that? Nope. Nobody has a faker legacy than Ilya. Cherry-picked a striker with no wrestling as his only defense and immediately quit and ran. He cherry-picked Max Holloway, one of the best featherweights of all time. Are you serious? All right. He ducked Armin to fight a Chinny out of prime, no wrestling, Charles Oliveira. Yes. Yeah, so Ilia Topuria is basically Dana White. He match makes everything. He told the UFC, hey, I want to fight Charles. I want to fight Islam. This guy's retarded. He thinks Ilia can just pick and choose. I see trolls have gone from comments to making videos. This was a gem. So he says this was a gem, but I can't tell if he's insulting me. The whole rant about tweets got to be the most retarded shit I've ever seen. Your mom's a whore. Holy, the cope is insane. Cope about what? You're a bum. None of this shows they're not brothers. Okay, so the original video was me basically saying... he's talking about me saying that I don't think Islam and Bilal had a super great relationship. I think Islam was kind of... I think Islam would have fought Bilal, to be honest. I think Bilal was the only one that was sort of... pretending like, oh, we're brothers, we can never fight. I think Islam, if it came to it, and if it was offered, and if Bilal slightly agreed to it, I think he would have fought Bilal. I think he would have fought Bilal, to be honest. And you saw by his tweets how quickly he instantly says, Inshallah, I will become double champ as soon as his quote-unquote brother Bilal loses. This vid has to be rage bait. No way this dude believes what he's saying. And that's it. And then we can read more comments. Ilya cooked Islam Makhachev. So that's when that's obviously when Ilya Topuria obliterated Islam Makhachev with his tweets. You know, again, some good comments here. Makhachev needs to fight a contender at 170. I'm Team Ilya on this one. Shout out no bromo. I mean, decent comments. 4 title versus 1. Keep the cope hater. Are you saying 4 title defenses versus 1? Since when does title defenses matter? Like, since when his title defenses are whatever. Since when does title defenses matter? Here's the thing again. No one has said like, oh, when Adesanya moved to face Jan Blachowicz, when Henry Cejudo moved up to go for his double belt, when all of these names moved up, no one said, but he needs like 3 more title defenses. When Volk moved up to fight Islam, no one said, but he needs more title defenses. Only when Ilya wanted to move up did they say this. That's the only time. I don't know. Both of these guys are clowns. Just stay in your division. What happened to GSP and Silva? I kind of agree with this, to be honest. I wouldn't say they're clowns, but I do think they should just... I wish that Islam stood at lightweight and fought other contenders, and I wish Ilya stood at featherweight and fought other contenders, but at least one has an excuse. At least, if we're to believe Ilya, his excuse is at least, I couldn't even physically make the weight anymore. Islam's excuse is just, I really, really want to be a double champion right now. Who did Ilya beat? A Wash Volk and an old Max. Yeah. I'm not even gonna like argue with that comment. What are people smoking these days, thinking Islam is scared of Ilya? JDM is way more dangerous than Ilya. We will never know if JDM is more dangerous because we'll never see him fight Ilya. Again, we're doing this thing of like, and don't get me wrong, I've done this too, where I've said like, I'm not really interested in Ilya versus Movsar because I think Ilya would have beat him easily. But I'm also not interested in that fight because I don't think it's a big fight. Just to say that, I just don't think it's a big fight. So I'm not like, oh man, we missed out on Movsar Evloev versus Ilya Topuria. Damn it. Like, who cares? Who gives a fuck? You guys are acting as if like Ilya versus Islam would have not been a super fight. And it could have sold like millions of, not millions, but it could have sold a lot of pay-per-views. If Islam ran from Ilya, then Ilya ran from Movsar. If your argument is Ilya would have beaten him, then Islam would have beaten Ilya. I just addressed that. It's not just about that. It's about the fact that one is Movsar Evloev, the other is Islam Makhachev. One is more exciting than the other. That's just a simple matter of fact. That's just like, come on, bro. What finishes does Movsar Evloev have in the UFC at a high level? What ranked finishes does he have? Does he even have finishes at all? What are you talking about? He didn't rematch Arman because Arman put out. Islam was ready to fight. Yes, Islam dominated his division in my opinion. Kind of. I mean, there were still names for him to face, but you know. It's fans like this why Islam team hates fighting featherweights. I've literally said if he were to beat Ilya, I would give him a lot of credit. Islam's been saying he wants to move to 170 before Ilya was even a featherweight. Someone already said this earlier. These guys just repeat the same shit, bro. More comments. So now he just beat Volk, who is featherweight, but in the same time you want him to fight Ilya Lamau. Yeah, he almost lost to Volk in the first fight, and I'd also like to see him fight Ilya. Yeah. Volk in the first fight was his hardest test. Let's be real. Even if he had fought and beaten Ilya, you would have just added one more thing to your criticism list. No, I wouldn't have. You don't know that because you can't see in the future, so you don't know that. Ali is saying that because he wants a chunk of Ilya versus Evloev. Ali is a terrorist. I would have loved Ilya to have defended at least 3 more times. Lopez, Evloev, and maybe Yair Rodriguez around everything out nicely. After that, I just let him transition smoothly into lightweight. Yeah, because Ilya Topuria, who's very inactive, I'm sure Islam would have still been active. I'm sure Islam would have retired by the time he would have fought these 3 guys. Let's be honest. Diego Lopez is active. Evloev fights once a fucking year, and Yair fights once a year. By the time we would have been in 2020, 2035, 2020. We would have been in 2035 by the time these 3 fights would have happened, bro. Come on. There is no better time for Islam Ilya than at 317, and that time is gone. That's just a matter of fact. The Makhachev disrespect is crazy. You're gaslighting yourself. He's not the GOAT. I've already said literally he's probably, if he beats JDM, he's the greatest fighter of all time. I've said this, if not the second. But I am biased because I love GSP, I'll be honest. They duck your mom. Cope, man, just pop it out already. No, I will not pop my penis out of your mother's asshole. Anyways, guys, that's about it. That was almost an hour of me reading Delusional Islam. Look how I'm sweating. My hair's... That was about an hour of me just reading Delusional Islam Makhachev takes. What do you guys got for me in the comments? Let me know. You guys agree with me, disagree with me. If you sat through this entire thing, I don't know what to say. You guys are awesome. If you didn't sit through this entire thing, I don't fucking blame you. This was a bit long in the tooth here, but make sure you guys like and sub. Become a member in the description. You guys think I'm in the right? Am I in the wrong? Honestly, it's like, it hurts my brain to do these videos on Islam Makhachev or just this topic in general because I would have not done any of these videos. None of this would have ever happened had he had just fought Ilya. If he had just fought Ilya, I'd be sitting here, I'd be happy, I'd be excited, I'd be counting down the days to 317, and I still am. I'm so excited for Charles versus Ilya, and I'm excited for JDM versus Makhachev. But you know, what would have been more exciting? If we had got Ilya versus Islam and Islam versus JDM. And then Charles could have fought fucking Paddy Pimblett or something. Anyways, see you guys next time. God bless you all. Peace.